Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. In my last video, I was not able to introduce myself, and I was looking forward to introduce myself with you. I am Sayyid Lalu Sencha. I have done Masters in Physics in 1987 from Islamic University, Bahawalpur. I am resident of Multan, the city of Awliyas, the city of pious people. And then I shifted to Karachi. Here I did the government service. In that, I have also got education in, I have done masters in educational administration. I have done specialization in telecommunication. I have done MPhil in European Studies from Karachi University. So this is my educational background. I kept teaching for last 30 years, and in those 30 years I have enjoyed myself, and what I have learned I wanted to transfer it to you people. During that time I learned, I studied the wars also. Uh, I say my idea about war is that war is a continuous phenomenon. It is not won or not lost, but it continues, and just it shapes, it changes. Just it changes, it shapes. For example, the First World War changed its shape, and we entered into the Second World War. After that, the Cold War. After that, we are in the crush middle of wars, and we have to come out of it. And we can only come out of wars due to education. If we educate our people, we can come out of this war hysteria. My saying is that the people who are away from the borders, I mean eastern side of the border, they should be educated. If they get education from me, if they learn something from me and they get educated, then they are less likely to fight future wars. And in the same way, if people in the other side of the border, they learn, I mean the Pakistani people, they learn, surely they will be more peaceful, and the development in this universe can occur only because of the education. We have not to save people in wars, we have to save people from disease, we have to save people from injury, we have to save people from poverty, and we have to increase their lifespan. This is our motto, this is my job, and in that the traveling also come. Like when I talked about the going abroad for study, it means you have to travel, and you have to travel for enjoyment as well. You must study, and you must travel to enjoy your time. So this is what my function is. In today's lesson, we will talk about few things that are related to IELTS. In IELTS, first I will focus upon the memory, how we can memorize things. The memorize are the tricks in the memory, and the real way to memorize things, a real way to retain knowledge. You should use tricks. I'm advising here that you must use tricks to solve, to understand, to do those things, to get marks in those things which are difficult for you. But otherwise, you should use positive mean to get education, to get knowledge. Don't use tricks more, but tricks are very important. Second portion about which I was talking about, that we have talked about three types of test. One is the SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Test. The second is, we talked about the TOEFL, testing of English as foreign language, and then we have talked about IELTS. The IELTS is international International English Language Testing System. International English Language Testing System. These are the things we can get. We have to appear in these things, and after appearing, if it happens that we get admission, our application is accepted, then we have to appear in it. Now, how we appear in IELTS? Today we will talk how we appear in IELTS. Last but not least, I would also request that please watch my videos. They are very important for you, not only you, for your children. Second is, subscribe me, and then you should forward into your link so that maximum people can get benefited by these videos. So this is my request, please subscribe it. Now we were talking about the IELTS. The IELTS has 4 portions. First we will talk about listening. Normally listening and other tests, the listening, reading skills and all that, they are taken. But listening, reading, speaking, uh, and essay. So there are few things, that listening, reading, speaking, and essay. These are few things which are tested in IELTS. When we appear in IELTS, there are 4 aspects in which we are tested. We are tested in listening, we are tested in reading, we are tested in speaking, and we are testing in writing essay. So first I'm talking about the speaking skills. Uh, when you appear in the test, it happens that normally the test day for speaking and test day for other 3 things, they are different. तो जो टेस्ट आपका स्पीकिंग के मतलब लिया जाता है वो एक डिफरेंट डेट को लिया जाता है. This test is of just 12 weeks and 12 minutes. This test is of just 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. Now they ask very easy questions, but the problem with us is that we are not so fluent in English. So what we have to do, we have to read more and more during those days. We have to read, whenever you come to reading, read what provide interest to you. If you are interested in romance, read romantic books. If you are interested in some history books, read history books, and so on. Don't limit yourself. I'm not limiting that read this book, don't read this book. Read what is in which you have interest. Read what is interested to you. Read read in which you have interest. Read such books which seems interested to you, like history books, like you may romantic books you may like. So any kind of book you read. Philosophy, I like philosophy, so I read philosophy. So read what seems you it is interesting. The second aspect is in those 12 to 30 minutes, what you would be asked about. You would be asked about your name, from where you are, where the basic information, where you belong to. But this is 15-minute language, 15-minute test. In it, they will check your fluency, they will check your vocabulary, they will check your accent. They will also check the quality of speech. So these things you must concentrate. So first is read, and the second is if you find a person near you, speak with him. Moreover, I have some reading material. I mean, reading material is best, and it is best that you find a Dawn newspaper, which I have did. I used to read it completely. I used to buy one Dawn paper, and I used to read for nearly 1 week and read it completely, and then I used to buy another one. And mostly the Dawn paper was of Sunday. So read and speak. This is for the speaking skill. Now we come to the reading skills. In reading skill, you very well know that you can do skipping, you can do skimming. These are different techniques, but I will suggest whenever you start reading, start the book, start the para, start the page completely from line 1, word number 1, page number 1 to line last, word last, page last. And uh, then when you keep on testing yourself, then it will always it happens that you start skimming, start skipping. This technique develops in you inherently, uh, because you have spent enough time. There is no shortcut to reading. If you have to do reading, then you cannot do shortcuts. You have to read books. And reading books, I have again explained what kind of books you can select. However, there are some books which are given in the test on the online test. They have given some paras. Please see those. The current topics in the newspaper, you must read those current topics. You must read the good quality newspaper, New York Times. You must may read the Dawn. So uh, any kind of foreign newspaper and good quality Pakistani newspaper, you must read it. So inshallah you will be better in the reading aspect. And then what you have to do, you have to do chunking. Make a pieces. Chunk is to make pieces. Then see that which your reply is in which part, in which chunk, and then you can easily reply. Second is there is always a method that what you have to write in your own words. Do not just copy and paste over there, but write in own words. In reading skills, read books. Second is do chunking, do skimming techniques, do skipping techniques. After doing lot of practice, you will be able to do that. And when you will be able to do that, make chunks in the exam, and then from those chunks write in your own words. This is a simple way to appear in the reading test. The next portion is the listening side, the listening part. When you come to listening part, you must listen to native speakers. Don't listen me. Listen to native speakers. It is not necessary that in exam, when the people are talking and you are listening, you would be asked question from the portion in which native speaker was speaking. There may be people who are people from African origin, there may be Saudians, there may be Asians, and maybe Japanese, Chinese. So, uh, native is must. After learning lot of native, listening lot of native speakers, you have to listen to the Arabs. You have to listen to the African. You know their accent. They know you know how they speak. You know how they communicate, and in the same way, you know Japanese, you know the Asians style of speaking. So it will help you, and you will be easy when you will be appearing in the exam. So the crux is that listen more and more, and listen more native people, and you must listen to the people of other regions as well, so that you may not be hindered while appear in the examination because of some different pronunciation which you are which you would be hearing. So uh, after this, then it comes to the writing skills. And in writing skills, what I suggest that the topic which is given to you, there is no shortcut to practice. You have to do practice. You have to uh, study for nearly 1 month doing all these things. You have to do one hearing session, listening session, one speaking session, then one essay writing session, and one reading session. Then you would be able to solve this paper and would be able to get a good score. I appreciate that if you do this, then you would be able to get, you would be high achiever. But I also advise you that uh, if at any place you feel that you are not so capable, or you are feeling problem, or you are not able to do the exercises completely, then take a guidance. Go to somewhere where IELTS teaching is being done, and IELTS practice is being given. Appear in the practice test. There are a lot of tests available on the internet. Appear on those tests. Second thing is that I have some material with me that is about listening. I would put it on my website. I will write the web address on this this video at the end of this video, and please visit that site and get whatever you want from there. That would be all about listening. I also like to tell over here that my son, who is in Germany, he is recently is in the search of, rather in the process of appointing himself in some place in Achel. So he is going there. He is, I mean, on his way to his job place. When he would reach there, he would update my site, and he would put all those audio lessons on my website, and you would be able to get a good amount of audio clips which will help you in preparing your IELTS exam. This was about IELTS. When you appear in exam, then what happens? Then you have sometimes you have to do shortcuts. I will tell you what are the measures with which you can use your memory for the shorter duration, and you can use tricks, memory tricks. I will tell you the memory tools, which is in maths. When because I have to talk about SAT as well. Uh, so in SAT, what you have to do with those things, with those math questions. Most of the portion in SAT is math. The second aspect is that do not always depend on the short term measures. Always do what is being given to you in a right process. The memory tricks works, but the real thing is that the real procedure of memorizing things, I would also share with you what you have to do to increase your memory so that you get more and more marks. Now we come to the memory tricks. There are many tricks in maths and in other subjects as well. I will talk briefly on them. For example, one thing we have learned, that was the word was BODMAS. In mathematics, it is very common acronym BODMAS. BODMAS is what? This is a method to do operations in mathematics. What if you will not follow this, then you will not be able to solve the math questions in a right way. All the questions which are not followed by this way, they would be wrong. And what is that BODMAS? BOD is B is for bracket, O is order of operation, uh, D is division, M is multiply, A is add, S is subtract. It means first what you have to do, you have to remove brackets. Then you have to do orders. I mean, if you have to undertake, take under root first. After opening bracket, take under root. Then after that you have to divide the things. Then you have to multiply the thing. Then you have to add. Then you have to subtract. If you follow this procedure, then your math question would be solved. This is BODMAS, which is one of the memory tricks. The other thing is that when we were in university, we have to learn the colors which are emitted from the rainbow, or when light passes through the prism, it's split up into seven colors. What were those seven colors, and what was their order? So their order and those colors that we have learned, and you may also learn from me, it was whip jar. Very simple. V is for violet, I is for indigo, blue is B is for blue, G is for green, O is for orange, Y is for yellow, and R is for red. And This is the order. This is the real order of colors in the spectrum. So WebJar, BODMAS, these are short memory tricks which you can use whenever you need it. When we talk at BODMAS, these are called acronyms. When something is difficult, you may make your own acronym so that and you may use it. For example, uh, one of my student, he came to me that I am having the learning difficulty in biology. What should I do? So what I have did with him, I took his problem and I asked what is the problem. He told me that these are different skeleton system in a human body, and I'm not able to remember all these. I took that book from him and gave little concentration, and then I give him a clue, I give him a hint, and that was with those acronyms. So I given him acronym and I told him that it is nicer drums. He was a little confused that what is that. So I told them that these are first word of your different systems in a human body. N is for nervous system, C is for circulatory system. I would come. I took little time and then I told him that the acronym, and that acronym was nicer drums. N was for the nervous system, and I was the integumentary system. Integumentary system is, you may call it instantine or other things as well, but integumentary system is the system outside of our body. The C was circulatory system, E was endocrine system, R was respiratory system, D was for digestive system, R was for reproductive system, U was for urinary system, and nicer drums. M was for muscular system, and S was for nicer drums, skeleton system. So I just taken the first word and I hooked them, made them, did little alteration and made a word, and you can use it for your memory and you can get good marks as well. You may use such method in your IELTS, SAT or other examination as well. There is one thing I always asked a question from my children as well. It is a kind of joke, and in joke you teach the children. Like if I asked you what is the spelling of assassination, I think 98% of people, they would not be able to reply correctly. So I made it easy for them. Uh, I told them that ASS, S is donkey. Donkey is after another donkey. S. Then after donkey, I am after the donkey, and after me is all the nation. I mean ASS, I, and after that nation. Assassination. Very easy. If I make it a joke, खोते पीछे खोता ते खोते पीछे मैं खोते दे पीछे ते मेरे पीछे सारी कौम. Now I will tell you a joke, and that joke is a Punjabi joke, and with that joke, I will teach you some spelling, and these spelling are of assassination. First, please write the spelling of assassination. Then I'm narrating that joke, and let's see your response is correct or not. But I'm sure after learning from me, you will never forget. The joke is that was narrated to me by my teacher. खोते पीछे खोता ते खोते दे पीछे मैं खोते दे पीछे ते मेरे पीछे सारी कौम. खोते पीछे खोता. Khota is S, A double S S. खोते दे पीछे खोता. A double S A double S. खोते दे पीछे मैं. Then is I. और मेरे पीछे सारी कौम nation. A double S A double S I nation. So you will never forget the spelling of assassination. In this way, you can use other tricks as well. One is it is about the formation of group. Uh, when you enter in some group, then the quarrels occur. You you have some service group, some job group. You are in working in some factory. You are new. When you will enter in that group, there would be some little quarrels, little hard talks with you, and little question be raised. This condition is called storming. After these hard talks, then a relation starts forming. After forming relation, then people start performing. And after performing for few time, then people adjourn. I I am talking about the now I'm talking about the Tuckman's development. Now I'm talking to you about the Tuckman's development of a group. Tuckman was a scientist. He given a theory which was about some groups, that how groups develop, how groups in a job situation, how groups are formed and how they perform. He said that when you join a group, when you join a company, there exists a little bit resistance for you, and there may be some hard talks with you because of that resistance, and little bit quarrels as well. The verbal quarrels. After that, the situation start norming. Then you start forming a relation with different people. There were some group with which you were having some trouble. Then there is another group with which you form relation after normalization. When groups are formed, then people start performing, and after performing for few time, then people start adjourning. Then what you have to do, then you have to storm. And to learn all these things, you can make acronym, uh, storming, norming, SN, forming F, then is performing P, and then is adjourning S, N, F, P, A. So in this way, you can use monetary memory tricks to learn something. Then is what is called acoustics. Now I will tell you about some acoustics. For acoustics, I will just say that we have to remember 14 points of Qaeda while we were appearing in our secondary school and intermediate school examination. I have remembered a few, and I have not used acoustics at that time. One was that मुंबई को सिंध से अलहदा सूबा बनाया जाए. So the word separation, you remember the word. Take few words out of that each line, remember them, and you would remember all. This is another way of short-term memory, but I would advise that use these short-term methods, short-term memory methods, these little tricks, these little toys for remembering things sparingly. इनको हमेशा इस्तेमाल ना करें, कभी कभी इस्तेमाल करें. जो राइट तरीका है, the right way to learn is that when you go in this class, sit attentively, attend the lesson attentively, then when you come to home, revise it. So the first uh, and foremost thing is that be attentive in your class, and then when you come to home, revise it. After revising, you must try to find a way to apply it. Then make your notes yourself. Don't the teacher with what he is speaking, do not try to copy each and every word. Do not start writing always. Listen to him what he is saying. Write the crux, and then go in your home. When you return to your home, write it in your own word. The other process is the do chunking techniques. Chunking techniques is that read in paras. Read something, understand it, consume it, and then go further. Then is take your test and see that where you are faulty. Then uh, associative learning is another kind of thing. Associate things like, you can associate the 23rd March with Minar Pakistan. You can associate 14 August with the creation of Pakistan. So this next aspect is cooperative learning. cooperate with them. I always say that do not compete, cooperate, help others. He should also help you. And in this way, your overall GD, what is called that, uh, help each other, cooperate with each other. With helping and with cooperating each other, the overall CGPA of the class, it will increase. The cumulative GPA of the class will improve, and your cumulative GPA will enhance. Help people, not compete people. Cooperate with them. Cooperate is also cooperative learning. Sit with them, ask them question, understand with them. And then is the appreciative learning. The learn those things which fantasize you, like physics fantasize me. I have learned physics, but I fantasize physics and I start learning medical and or biology, then I would not be able to learn it correctly. So, appreciative kind of learning is more important. That the things which you appreciate, that those things will be learned easily. Help other, help in the people across the border. Today, some incident has happened in some area of Ladakh between China and India, and 20 people have been died, and they have been killed by the Chinese people. 20 Indians have been killed by the Chinese people. So uh, we are with both the parties. We stand with them, and we request them that do not fight. Thank you. I'm really thank you all for your patience listening. Thank you very much.